Yesterday I got some fresh ones. Tomorrow I'm gonna get the Greek ones again. They're this big. The fig is this big. It's dark purple, and it's filled. It's honey inside. It's so good. There's this lady that sells them. I gotten some from her, and then some from another lady, and then some from another guy. And slowly over time, I kind of realized I'm not gonna get from the guy and from the other lady anymore because they're questionable in their fig sources. And this first lady has the top-notch figs, so I'm just gonna get all the figs from you. Go figure. Good to know who the best fruit dealers are. Yeah, you gotta try it. You gotta try from different people, and then you gotta disappoint a bunch of them. Now there's people who are like, hey man, I got good figs. And I'm like, nah. Nah. And some merchants get you, they guilt trip you. Some merchants guilt trip you. It's so ridiculous. They'll be like, I'm not even gonna speak more than this, but there are merchants who will guilt trip you into coming back and getting from them, even that their figs are horrible. Yeah, just like with any profession. I used to be very naive. I would come to somebody, let's say I'm getting a watermelon, Let's say I want to get myself watermelon. And I would get to a merchant, and there would be a bunch of watermelons, and I would ask them, I would be kind of doubtful. Let's say there's 2 or 3 merchants selling watermelon, and I know that one person has good ones, but I want the best one. So I'm gonna try from another person, and then I'm gonna try from another person, and then I'm gonna compare. But while you are trying, there's gonna be those who have bad watermelon, and you got to go through that. And I come and I sense, I see, I can feel the energy of the person. I can feel like they're kind of miserable with life. They're smoking. They're like, ah. And immediately, even if the watermelon is good, I know I'm gonna regret even talking to this person. And it happened. I'm always right. I'm 99.99% intuitive, on point with every single person I meet. So I would get with them, and I would be naive. I mean, come and trust merchants. Of course, a merchant is gonna say his stuff is good. Who in their right minds? Like, you're gonna come to a merchant, you're gonna ask them, hey, is your watermelon good? And they're gonna say, nah, they're mediocre. Maybe 1 out of 10 is good. Don't get it from me, get it from that person over there. Who's gonna say that? Nobody ever. Nobody ever is gonna say that. But I was naive. I was like, I come and I ask, is your watermelon good? And then they guilt trip me. They go, you know what? It's not even just good, it's amazing. And they project this guilt onto you, like, how dare you even ask if it's good or not? It's not even good, it's amazing. And then, like, some of them would go, they take out the bag and they're already packing it in, and I'm like, wait, like, I'm just looking for now, like, don't push it into my mouth. There's not only do you have 50 watermelons to choose from, there's 5 people times 50 watermelon, and you're already packing 2 of them for me. And if I say no, they get angry. Like, I just came there, and they're already packing 2 watermelon, and if you say wait, then they guilt trip you. Then they go, are you toying with me? Are you toying with me? Are you gonna get anything? And then I feel guilty and I buy 2 watermelons from this person, and they suck. And they suck. The watermelon they're horrible in the end. But I'm so like, I used to get so hooked by guilt. And then I realized, just through buying watermelon, through buying figs, I realized that these things we need to accept on our own. Guilt trip it's a frame. You know how they say somebody framed me? Well, that's a real concept between humans, is frames. Meaning, like, many humans, most humans on the planet do not take responsibility for their lives. They're always looking, the basic resolving of a problem on the planet is, who's to blame for this? Who did this to me? Whose fault is this? Who's guilty for this? And if you're around when somebody's looking for the villain and you accept this frame, then you are the guilty one. Because people have no discernment who actually is responsible. They're just going to project outwards, who's to blame, who's to blame. And the one that goes like this, he is to blame, even though he's not. Even though he's not. Maybe just somebody's like, oh, please don't, it's not me. But you just take this posture, you go like this, it's you. So it's a frame. You've been framed. Somebody put you in a frame, and the frame is a guilt frame. Or the frame is whatever it is. It's the villain frame. It could be the frame of, you're gonna help me, you're the guru. This is what I say to all my clients who come to me for therapy, for all the things, human design. Don't frame me as Buddha. Don't frame me as the savior of humanity or the savior of your life. I will show you tools. I will give you practical things. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You know how Morpheus says in The Matrix, I'm only here to show you the door. You are the one that has to go through it. And this is the biggest thing with people, humanity. They want to buy a course that you don't gotta do nothing. They want to buy a product that you don't even like. You want to buy a cream for your face, but you don't actually need to apply it every day. No, you actually have to do this all day, every day, in order for that cream to work. Or anything. You want to buy a new exercise program. What do you think? Just watching the videos, you're going to wake up flexible. So that's what it is, like with anything. Like, are you gonna come to anybody selling anything, any product, and you're gonna ask them, is this any good? Like, you come to me, you ask me, are you a good therapist? Are you a good human design teacher? And I'll say, no, I'm horrible. Please go get someone else. Who will say that ever? And I was naive. I was naive with the guilt, because the guilt is what hooked me. Because I see these people trying to sell all these things. The figs rot in 2 days. In 2 days, the figs are gone. Figs are gone in 2 days. So then I'm like, this guy is friendly, he's shaking my hand. And I've traveled a lot, I remember merchants from Sweden, I remember merchants from Spain, I remember merchants from Costa Rica, I remember merchants from Japan, from Thailand, from poor countries to Tokyo, Shibuya district, middle of Tokyo, ultimate height of technology and human intelligence when it comes to this type of development, not spiritual. Anyway, there's places in Tokyo, but these are just diversions. And in many times, I thought that these people actually cared about you. When merchants want to take selfies with you, when they kind of, oh, you're my buddy, you're always there. Of course, yeah, they give you nice discounts. Yeah, that's all fine. I love that part of being human. I love that part of human interaction where you're a regular customer, I'm gonna reduce the price for you, or I'm gonna give you stuff from the back that, there's these bananas that they're overripe, but I like overripe. I know you also like overripe. I'm gonna give them to you. And over time, I kind of thought that we were friends. And then there would be times when these are amazing figs, you should buy them, and you have trust with this person. But you do kind of feel that there's this guilt trip pulling you to get these figs just from this guy. Because you are homies. He shakes your hand every time. And then you buy the figs and they suck. And next time, you buy the figs again and they suck. And then you're like, this guy just wants to sell things. He's not my friend. Not in any other sense than kind of a little bit of small talk. And please buy a ton of figs from me. And it's not personal. You think it's personal for him. You know how many people, when you come and they say, they're like figs, I don't know, $6 a pound. I mean, it's not that price. I'm just saying, let's say it says $6 for a bag of figs. And every time I come, he says, it's usually 6, it's 5 for you. And then you buy the figs, and then you walk a few steps away, and then there's another person coming, and they say, it's usually 6, but it's 5 for you. So it's usually 6, but it's 5 for everyone that wants to buy them. What's the requisite that you get a discount from a 6-pound fig to a 5-pound fig? That you actually want to buy the fig. If you are, no. What's the threshold? The threshold is if you are very decisive to buy the fig. If you come and say, give me a pound of figs, they're gonna say, yeah, $6 a pound. But if you come and you're like, should I buy the figs? Then it's 5 for you. So those who accept immediately get what they actually accept. And those who consider the options, then you can barter with people. And this is what I'm talking about with framing. This is so beautiful. Of course I'm gonna make it a metaphor out of the blue spontaneously without me even knowing it. I'm circling around. Look at this gem gonna drop right now. It's the same with frames. When somebody says you are guilty, they're guessing. People are guessing. This is what my dad does all the time. He tries to make me look ridiculous and crazy and unstable, and if I accept it, then he kind of laughs at me, and then he's kind of like, look at you, look at whatever. This is entertainment for him. Like people who are really miserable in their lives, their entertainment is making other people miserable. And I'm not even afraid of talking about these things, even though they're my parents. This is how I got all my healing. I recognized it in them, and then I was like, nah, this is not staying. I'm a Super Saiyan. So this is the frame. This is the frame. If you accept, you take it. It's an agreement. People are always trying to get other people to shake their hands and to confirm their beliefs in whatever that they are believing in. And humanity is such a herd. 99% people are followers. They need to be told what is valuable. They need to be told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, what is worth spending money on, what is not worth spending money on, which people are important, which people are not important to listen to. A regular person does not know what is valuable in this life until someone else tells them. And everybody's looking outside for guidance. And that's okay for a while. But then after that, you want to develop your own sense of discernment. And the main sense of discernment is, who's responsible for this in my life? Fun fact, it's probably you. But if people look outside for who is responsible, and you are there and you have a history of taking responsibility for other people's emotional stuff, you're gonna get piled on just like that. Just like that. Just because you have a habit energy of just Give me your backpack, I'll take it. Give me your backpack, I'll take it. Give me your backpack, I'll take it. And you know what? It helps no one. No one. You're enabling that person to keep on doing the things, and you cannot heal them like that. You just temporarily sort of ease something, but do you really help them? Nah, not in a real sense. And I hope you understand the difference, that I'm not talking about a friend coming to you for advice. I'm just talking about people who seek who's responsible for things in their life, and it's never them. It's never them. And it's a frame, like I told you. If you accept the barter, if you accept the price of the fig without bartering for it, you're gonna get it. The same is with people. Anytime, like, I'm gonna give you a few examples. So there's this palace, I would say, in this little city that I sometimes visit. It's like a church, like a cathedral, like a church, and it has a huge, like a park around it. And the park is under construction for a few months now. And you can get into the park through the main gate of the palace, or you can get into that same park through a restaurant on the other side. So the restaurant has kind of like all tables set inside of that park, and it's unrelated to the palace. It just shares that park that's between them. And you cannot get into the park because the like 60-70% of the park and the palace is being rebuilt, remodeled. So it's a construction site. It says big sign construction, the gate is locked. But you can get into the park through the entrance of the restaurant, and then you just don't sit in the restaurant, you just kind of go over and you act stupid. This is what I've been doing. I buy my ton of figs and I go into the park through the restaurant. One time, the restaurant person inside told me, "Oh, that place is forbidden." And I just kind of went away. I just went like this. You know, in a way of like, don't worry about it. It doesn't concern me. Just forget that I was here. And most of the time, I'm sitting under a tree, eating the figs for 30 minutes. I get up, I go away. I'm so away from any construction. Nothing is gonna hurt me. I'm not even close to any construction ever. Nobody sees me. I make no damage. I'm in and out like a ghost. So nothing moral there. I'm just gonna evade the rules. You know, the rules. Doesn't matter. So I'm in there. I'm eating my figs the other day, and from afar, there's the middle part of the park where there's benches, and there's a guy comes there who's a construction worker, and he lays on the bench, takes a nap in the middle of the day. He sees me, he pulls out his phone, smokes his cigar, takes his nap. Second guy comes opposed to him, doesn't even turn around, doesn't even look in the park, sits there, takes a nap. A third guy comes, he starts whistling all across the entire field, the entire park, and I'm over there sitting. I know immediately what he's doing, but I'm not even gonna look up. I'm not even gonna orient myself to see what, like, I'm stupid. I didn't even hear the whistle. He whistles again and again and louder, and hey, oi! Oi, I mean, this is a translation from my language. Hallo! Hallo, Momak! Hey, lad. But it's not lad, it's more like dude, and it's more like homeless guy eating figs, whatever he thought. And he's yelling, and I'm just I finish my fig, and slowly, like I'm not I'm not the prey here. I'm the predator, but you have no idea. I'm not the prey here. I'm not going to be a chicken like this. So slowly, I raise up my head. I look at him, and he's going like this, and then like this, Like, and he's yelling and everything, and I'm just looking at him, and as I'm looking at him, I take another fig. And it's almost like popcorn. Like, look at that show over there. Look at that display of whatever the person is. And I decide not to participate. I'm not going to get framed. I'm not going to get framed. And he continued yelling, and I'm just looking at him. I'm not moving my body an inch. And I'm eating the figs while looking at him like this. And I take another one, and I look at him. And then after a while, he just kind of, the other people around him, they continue talking. And then he just kind of sits down and also lays. And after that, I'm just walking away. And I'm going to give you a few more examples, which all happened in a span of maybe 7 days, all to reinforce the message that I'm giving you right now, and to reinforce how much my worldview has flipped since then. Because me walking away from that park that day, I'm walking around, I'm looking around in the world, and I'm like, how much of my life have I been actually doing this? Taking the frames of others just because they point a finger. And the more I ignore, the more people give up. You stop giving them power. Because if in that moment I gave that person power, I was the one choosing, you are the god of this park. No, you're not. No, you're not. This fence around this park is human-made. The palace is human-made. The restaurant is human-made. All these trees around here are nature. So all these borders around this park, this is not authority. This is some human that came and just said, there's going to be some borders around here. This is going to be a park. This is not a park. This is a forest. This is a forest. And I'm a druid wizard. You're no authority. You are zero authority. You are a yelling construction worker. I'm not undermining construction workers. I don't care. I'm just saying you're not any sort of authority in my life. You're giving me a suggestion. You're suggesting me to be afraid of who you are. What are you? A construction worker. You're just there doing your job. Well, go ahead and do your job. If I get hit with a brick, it's my fault. It's my responsibility. And I'm going to take this risk. Not that I was anywhere near any bricks falling, just to be clear with you guys. Not in the sense of I was so safe you wouldn't, like, it was so far away, so far away. Nobody could even throw a brick that far, let alone let it falling onto me or whatever. And I understand safety, I understand, guys. And also, some rules are ridiculous. And also, I enjoy breaking rules if it brings me a nice place to sit down and eat figs for 25 minutes. I don't care about these things. I don't care about these things. There's plenty of horrible things done in the world that I'm going to morally question me sitting in a park eating figs in a construction site, even though it wasn't. So just to go back to when I went outside of this park, I'm looking at the world and I'm getting flashbacks of my entire childhood, of my unstable mother, my father, my grandma, anybody from my family who used to do this, and I was just raising my hand. It's me. It's me. It's because of me. Because that's what you learn as a child. You learn to take responsibility for everything, because if you don't, your mom's not going to stop drinking. Your dad's not going to stop drinking. Your mom's not going to stop being emotionally volatile and aggressive and frustrated, and everybody else is to blame, not her life choices, emotional dumping, and you just take it. Why? Because if you don't, nothing changes. Nothing changes in the family. There's no harmony, there's no communication ever. You gotta take it. If you don't take it, nobody takes it, and then there's no conversation, then there's nothing. And then when I realized how much have I been doing this, in relationships, in business relations, in friendships, in groups, in tribes, communities, even conscious communities. And if you just stop accepting what people are, they're giving you an option. Everything is an option. Everything is a choice. I'll give you another example. Another example is with one of the people, with one of the merchants. They're standing there, and I come and I'm kind of choosing figs. And I take a bag and I choose from their little containers the best figs. And I come to them with a really big bag. And from afar, they're like, oh my God, what has he done? Oh my God, look at this mess that he made. And I'm just there standing with my bag of figs. He was the only merchant in the entire farmer's market that doesn't allow you to pick which ones, but you gotta take the container that they have made. There's 10 figs in this one, 10 figs in this one. He's got like 10 containers. And you gotta choose the ones that they did. And all other merchants, they're friendly, they want to sell, and you can pick which ones you want. And I just came to him and he was like, oh my God, look at this idiot, what he has done. And I'm just standing there with the bag of figs. And then he's like, you know what, give me that. Okay, $5, whatever. And he's not even looking me in the eyes. He's actually projecting this outward. And it's up to me whether I accept it or not. If I went into the mode of, oh, sorry, sir, I'm sorry, should I put them back? Should I whatever, then he would look me in the eyes and then he would pile more on. But until then, I'm looking at him and he's not even looking me in the eyes. He did not look me in the eyes the entire transaction. He took the money, he gave me the bag of figs. He made money off his figs. He made a bunch. I bought more than anyone. He kept mumbling, he kept commenting with his friends, the other merchants on his stall. And none of them are looking at me. And I took the figs, I took my smile, and I walked away. And once again, I was like, I did not take his frame. I did not take his frame. I chose my emotions. You choose everything. In interactions with others, you choose who you are. Even if somebody says you are the one responsible for whatever, if you say no, you're not. The only way you are is if you really truly did the thing. If you killed somebody, if you pushed somebody, if you steal from somebody, if you wreck somebody's car, if you beat their kids, if you did damage of any kind or abuse, then of course you are to blame. But in many cases, a lot of things are mistakes, which are all human, we all make mistakes, and other things are arbitrary rules, which, okay, so all the other merchants are incredibly friendly, they're happy that they're gonna sell. I buy from them every time because there's such beautiful energy. There's not like, oh my God, you touched one fig. Please get away from my store. Okay, I'm never coming again. No, you don't have to tell me twice. There's other people over there. I'm going to buy from them from now on every single time. I'm going to wave hi and not give you a cent again because that's what you want. It's what you want. This is what you offer me. And I'm not going to take that. I'm going to take the beautiful smile from that lady with the Greek figs over there. And those imported Greek figs are 30% more expensive than yours. And they are more sensitive to touch. She lets me pick every single one. And because of that, I'm coming tomorrow again to her and spending the extra 30% on the Greek figs. I'm not going to buy a single fig anymore from you. So I learned my lesson, you learned your lesson. You're trying to frame me. This is also a big thing for any business. If it starts from fear, it's going to be riddled with fear all throughout. If you're opening a store because you are afraid that you're going to go hungry and die, you're opening the store on the foundation of fear. If you're trying to pull customers by guilt tripping them, every single customer is going to be there because they feel guilty. Do you want your business to rest on the pillars of guilt, of fear, of shame, of emotional manipulation, of framing people? Don't accept the frames. Don't accept the frames. People are guessing, guys. People are guessing. People don't know who they are, let alone who you are. This is the hardest pill to swallow. 99% of humanity have no idea who they are, why they're alive, what they're doing, what their passion is, what their values are. They need to be told. What makes you think that they have no idea who you are? They are guessing. People are guessing. Because it's easier to guess and to project than to not know and ask questions. It's infinitely easier for people to assume and not to ask questions. Because assumption is certain, and we all gotta sound certain in society. You gotta sound like you know what you're doing. You gotta sound like you know what you're talking about, otherwise you're a fraud. Even though questioning everything is the basis of science and any discovery and invention, not being sure if this is the best, let's try something else. What is trying something else but not being certain? Let me give you another example. I was at this nudist small beach that had like a private access to it. And it's basically a chunk of the beach, which is sort of, they just have a concrete part and some recliner chairs, and it's sort of close to an apartment complex for tourists. And it's a private access beach. When there's people there, I never go there. I go there in the morning when there's no one there, and after 5 p.m. when there's no one there. One morning I was there, a guy came, I was sitting there in my lotus position with my headphones. It was already late season. I'm like, there's no one in tourist season anymore. It was just like September, mid-September, late September. A guy came down the stairs to this small beach, and in my mind I'm like, what do you mean private beach? What do you mean you bought a piece of rock next to a piece of huge ocean, and this is now yours? Don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous. Who have you bought it from? Did you call Earth? Hello, Earth. I want to place a down payment for this coral over there. Now this is mine, and nobody can get here. I'm going to put a private beach sign, just a sign, and that means nobody can actually get in. You just basically step over the sign. Like what? If you really wanted people out, you would have a wall. You would have, I mean, these are all things that I don't care about. I'm just kind of giving you a little bit of reference here. So I'm just there sitting, and he came there, and once again, people have this gesture that it's ridiculous to me. It's like, are you even in your right mind? Like, how do you even think of an idea of sitting here when you're not a part of that and I'm just looking at him, you know, if right now, in all these situations, if they're just suggestions, I ignore them, people stop, they go away, they give up. People just give up. If the person actually came to me and sat next to me and said, hey, please leave, this is private, I want to be alone here. This is a private beach. Can you get away? I would not fight them one bit. The same with the guy with the figs. The same with the guy in the park, the construction guy. If that construction guy came all the way up to me and said, hey, for safety reasons, you cannot be here. You need to leave now. And if he stood there and kind of, I'm not moving until you leave, I would immediately be, okay, no problem. And I would get up and go. If the guy with the figs looked me in the eye and said, you cannot do this, please put the figs back, I would put the figs back immediately. I would respect him 1,000 times. I would respect the construction guy 1,000 times. I would not go back to the park. I wouldn't go back to the park. Or there's a 90% chance I wouldn't go back to the park. But I would respect the guy more. And I would leave that time. I would give the figs back. I would leave the beach. If any of them were human to human, not just projecting the guilt, whether you're going to take it, not even able to look you in the eye, not even able to have a conversation. This is a sidetrack. I sat there and the guy he called up his friend and he's on the phone. He's sort of sitting and looking at me and on his phone is his friend, and he's like, yeah, I'm at the beach right now. There's a guy here. Yeah, I don't know. And then they started talking about something completely different. He kind of went on the other side of the beach. He looked at me a few times and saw that I was there with my eyes closed, with my headphones, almost like background furniture, just as I was in the park, bothering no one, almost energetically. You cannot sense me, you can see me, but you cannot feel like I'm doing anything, not making any noise, almost like a tree, like a part of nature, because that's what I do. I synchronize with the forest. And then he kind of relaxed. When he saw that I'm harmless, when he saw that I'm this yogi with zero body fat, with no harmful intentions, just sitting there absorbing the sun, he was just kind of like, whatever, like I can't get him to get up. And after 10 minutes, after I was dry from just getting out of the water, because that's all I wanted, to get into the water, get out of the water, get dry in the sunshine, get dressed, and be on my way. When that was done, I was away. When that was done with the park, I was out of the park when I ate the figs. That's it. Even with when buying the figs, I'm buying a ton of figs from you. I did not poke my finger in 10,000 figs and got 10 of them and ruined the other 9,000. I kind of did this, like barely putting a finger on it just to see if it's hard or not. With another merchant, and this happened yesterday. Oh my God, I have so many examples because this is a lesson that's been accumulating for the last 2 weeks, I think, just on and on. The more I do it, the more confirmation I get. This is how the world actually works. There's this grandma and her daughter. I always buy celery, lemon, cucumbers, apples, and sometimes figs from them. They always put an extra cucumber for me, maybe some tomatoes. They give me some mandarin oranges sometimes. They give me discounts. They tell me this is the best celery. They already know me. They're amazing around me. I'm amazing around them. And I come there, and there's a bunch of whole variety of fruit in this farmer's market and vegetables. And there are figs, green ones, purple ones. And I'm like, hey, same price? Yeah, they're like, yeah, honey. They call me honey. Yeah, honey, pick the ones you want. Sure, ladies. And I'm picking. And another grandma from, she's a customer. She starts talking to me in English because she thinks I'm not speaking the language. She's like, no touching. You ruin every single one that you touch. And she's very close and yelling. And at that moment, I'm just kind of a little bit startled. But immediately I remember framing. Like, you have no idea what relationship I have with these merchants. You don't know that they're okay with it. I don't know who the hell you are, or why you are choosing to be a policeman at this farmer's market for everyone, or just for me. And I just keep on picking them. And she's like, the ones you don't take, you're gonna ruin them. And I'm like, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm not an idiot. I know what ruining a fruit means. And I know what, just barely not, you don't know I was there. You don't know air has just been touched. I know what it means when people squish with full strength. Like these fingers, I've been an artist for 20 years. The detail that these fingers make, the softness that these fingers are capable of, not to mention many other things that fingers can do, and you need to be soft in order to do it. Anyway, people don't know you, so they just assume. And I just kept picking these figs. I picked a bunch again. The ladies were happy again that I'm buying the figs. I got another big cucumber for free. I got a few pieces of ginger for free. They're like, come again tomorrow, you're our regular, amazing, amazing. And while I'm paying for the figs and everything, she is going around their stall and picking out small tomatoes and trying them and eating like 10 of them. And I'm seeing that, and I'm going like this, like immediately if I had a sliver of guilt, it was gone in that moment. Like, you're gonna yell at me for touching slightly these figs that I'm actually gonna buy, and you're out there tasting almost a full those small tomatoes, like small as cherry tomatoes. She's like, 1, 2, 3, like, do you need 10 to know that they're good or not? And there's a guy next to me, and he stands up for me after 5 to 10 minutes. He's looking at her, and then he starts yelling at her, half jokingly, but really like 50% joke, 50% actual, he tells her, look at her over there. She's yelling at the boy for touching the figs and choosing the figs. She's over there tasting for 10 minutes now. Aren't you convinced that there's good? And she's like, oh no, that's not from here, that's from over there. I didn't. And at that moment, I'm looking at that guy like, if I said the same thing, there would have been a fight. If I said that, it would somehow come back to me. And it's never good. It's never good when I'm the one to do it. It's always best to just not even get into the frame. Because if you get into the conversation, you choose the frame as well. You know that, you got to know that as well. Is that even if you're not guilty, just defending yourself, you're in the frame also. You're in the conversation, you're choosing the battle. Even though you're not fighting, you're choosing to be in the you're stepping into the arena. You're stepping into the arena, even if you're a pacifist. You're gonna get a spear in the mind. You're gonna get a spear in your liver, or wherever. And at that moment, I was like, yes, this is what I've been thinking. And this is why I did not take the frame. Because this is hypocrisy. This is projecting. This is what deflecting from was her intention actually to divert attention to me so she can eat and try 50 tomatoes. Maybe. I doubt that she's this wise. And maybe she is. Maybe this is the wisdom, the ninja wisdom of the farmer market thieves. Or however we want to call these poor, miserable people. Because what is she other than that? So that's another example where I could have been framed. I just kept on doing what I'm doing, and you choose not to be framed. Well, I think I had another example. But this is called emotional framing. It's called projecting. It's called assumption. It's so much easier for humans to choose what you are just so they have something. And if they're afraid, and humanity is afraid, it's going to be something very reflexive and something that makes you warped, guilty. And you just got to not take it. You just got to not take it. Welcome, Ainsley. I always taste one of the grapes out of the bag they sell in the supermarket just to know whether I'm about to purchase a good bunch or not. Sometimes supermarket workers have a real issue and others understand. Yeah, it's up to the person. And I get it. Those that have an issue, they've had more instances of people ruining fruit and not buying than the instances of people buying after trying. I get it. It's up to everyone's personal experience. I do realize that you gotta try the same thing, try giving it a different outcome sometimes. That's the only way to shift the reality. The same people that would guilt trip me for the figs, I gave them multiple chances again and again afterwards. Every single time the figs sucked. The last time I was there, it was the two of them, the married couple, and there was a guy on his phone in a chair. And when I came there, from afar, they recognized me and yelled, "No touching, no touching." And I was like, okay, no problem. Tell me if they're good. And of course, merchants as they are, they're amazing. Just don't touch them. Can I believe you that they're amazing? Yes, they're all soft. 60% were not soft. They were not sweet at all. And as I was buying them, the lady came close to me, put her hands on me, and she said, "We cannot let people touch it because of our boss." And she turned me around with her hands towards the boss who was on his phone, and she wanted me to take part in the conversation about the boss who doesn't let them do this with other customers, as if she's not responsible for that and her husband is not responsible for that. It's actually the boss's fault. And I just went like this because I realized that the moment that I engage in this conversation, whether I joke about it, any input, energetic input, is going to count like I'm on her side, and then I'm in the arena again. I don't want to be anywhere near that arena ever again. Because I've given these merchants multiple opportunities after I felt the guilt trip, after I felt the framing, after I felt the foundation on which their business resides. And it's not personal. It stopped being personal, because in the beginning it was personal, me thinking a naive way that merchants are going to say, of course I have the best watermelon because they have the best watermelon. And then I realized there's other merchants that I enjoy buying from, which I asked them, "Do you have celery?" And they have the last piece of celery. And they're gonna say, "Yeah, I have this, but it's been sitting there maybe for 2 days. Go over there to that lady, she has amazing celery." And I'm like, man, props to you, respect for this. Not only are you not gonna sell me your last, maybe slightly off piece of celery, you're gonna redirect this money and this traffic to another person over there. You have nothing to gain at this moment from this. I'm gonna get better celery. That person over there is gonna sell a bunch of celery. Celery. Selling the celery. And I'm like, respect, I'm gonna come back to this person. just because. And from these people I sometimes buy, even though, let's say I have a few merchants and I can buy everything at one person. So this guy has cucumbers, that woman has cucumbers, that woman has cucumbers. And if I go and buy celery, lemon, apple for my juices in the morning, and that grandma has cucumbers as well, maybe I'm not going to get the cucumbers from her, I'm going to get everything else from her, but I'm going to go and get just the cucumbers from another guy that last time sent me away to get celery from someone else. Just because to give him back the respect for what he has done for me and for the other person that sold the better celery over there. So there's so many nuances to this. And you can, I gave you this entire speech, 55, as a big metaphor that these exchanges, these merchant areas, these outdoor markets, farmers markets, this can be a metaphor for life. Everything in today's topic can be about emotions, about energetic exchange between humans. Auric, electromagnetic field, love, sex, thoughts, doubts, questions, vocal expression, survival energy, self-worth, self-love, sense of direction, identity, commitments, dependency, codependency, independency, emotional ties, the whole spectrum of human emotions. What kind of emotions does your business reside on? Does your relationship lie on? What are the foundations? Your friendships, your family, everything. Everything is framing. Everything is, it's like investment. It's like two people sitting at a table. I put my items on the table, you put your items on the table. This is what I'm bringing to this relationship. This is what you're bringing to this relationship. And I choose how much of it am I going to take from you, and you choose how much are you going to take from me. Only from the part that we're both presenting. Because you can only take what others give you. You cannot take what others are not presenting to you. So, when other people present to you, you are guilty. They're putting guilt on the table. You are the one who's looking at it. And you gotta be aware, conscious, and patient enough, and discerning enough to see these moments between moments between breaths, where you choose the frame other people are maybe putting you in. And you know that an honest relationship is the one where people are not assuming things about you at all. They're asking you questions. They're looking you in the eye and saying, what is this about you? What does this mean? What do you mean by that? What are you feeling right now? Why have you been doing that? Why are you doing that? What is the purpose of this? What is your intention with this? How do you act around this person? What is this environment for you? They want to know, and they ask questions, and they're open to receiving the answer. The huge majority of people are not capable of doing this. They can just assume, guess, and try and frame it. So they assume, they guess, and they say that to you. Are you the guilty one? If you say yes, they're going to believe you, because they don't know if you are or not. Because so little people on this planet have an inner intuitive authority that they're actually listening to. And that they have enough human experience with other people, other environments, other things that they've done in life, placed their body in enough circumstances to know new things, The less you travel, the more you assume. The less things you've tried in life, the more you assume. Because there's no reference for you. There's no reference for people. So, expect framing. Not expect, but don't get surprised. Let's not say expect, because then you expect. Then you look for it. Don't be surprised, and choose what you accept other people framing you as. Choose what you take from others. When people say somebody gave me negative energy, in every single case somebody gives you negative energy. They're offering you negative energy. You are taking the negative energy. This is a hard pill to swallow, and I'm going to close with this one. I'm going to stop talking with this one. You can ask questions if you wish. But I'm going to stop the big chunk of this just to rest my throat a little bit. Is nobody can give you nothing. Nothing. If it's not conscious, then it's subconsciously that you are accepting what people give you. Take my entire story about framing and accepting frames for all the little stories that I've given you. That every single time I was presented with guilt, blame, shame, finger pointing, projecting, and I did not take it every single time. And then the merchant thief, the tomato thief, her cover was blown. Or the construction worker gave up his shouting like a high school kid in the middle of the schoolyard trying to be the big kahuna of the schoolyard. That's how it felt to me. It felt like I was in the middle of the schoolyard with the main jock yelling in front of his buddies. The other guys they were not paying attention at all. The other guys were resting in their little time of rest between work. He was the only, and you know how they say, the smallest and the weakest dogs are the loudest. And that's what's up. So, do you guys have any questions? I've been talking for we started with figs and I've been talking for an hour. This is, and I actually feel quite resonant in my voice. So, it's been a dope transmission. Does anyone have any questions or comments or similar things? Donations greatly appreciated. Check out my profile, I Create Lions. It's linked in the chat. You can check out my audio courses. We got 4,000 students in my Human Design Basics. It's my most famous course. If you get premium, you can listen to Human Design Basics, Intermediate, Advanced, Projector specific course, I Ching specific course. We got Soul Retrieval to retrieve lost memories. We got a shamanic journey to connect with psychedelic plants without actually getting psychedelics. That's called Receive the Earth. And we got elemental balancing if you want to get into the alchemical, elemental, herbal aspects, and elemental practices for earth, fire, water, air, and ether in your life. My name is I Create Lines, also known as Root Lightheart, also known as Dennis, named after Dennis the Menace. That's my father's first graphic novel he ever got as a child. So I'm a human design coaching guide, therapist. I'm a course creator on Insight Timer. I have a lot of meditations, guided meditations here. If you go on my profile here through the card, you can find my website in my About section. You can always send me messages through my Insight Timer profile. You can also find me in the world, as I'm the only person named I Create Lines. If you want to get in touch with me, if you want to find me, we do lives like this, Q&As. There weren't a lot of questions though today. It was mostly story time. But I do Q&As. I do doodle sessions. Yesterday was my doodle session. I think Saturday is going to be a doodle session. And Sunday we're going to have another talk like this. I'm also a fascia maneuver coach, movement and mobility, breathwork, all these things. Sometimes there are lives of this kind, so you can join those as well. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up for a while so you can ask questions if you wish.